name is Buford T. Muddlebutt, reporting live for news WORT. The kind people there at WORT, they said, hey Buford, can you maybe take us on a little tour of the homestead where your kinfolk used to live, on account of, well, there ain't too much of that there pioneer history left here in Ohio. And so I said, absolutely. Well, come on down, just send me one of your fancy big city cameramen and I'll show you all around. We'll have a wang dang doodle of a good time, you know what I mean. And so here we are. Now, it ain't a whole lot to look at now. You see, we haven't really lived here for a long time, but my family done first moved here, been about 1872, when my great grandpappy and his wife, they bought a few acres and set up shop. So let's go take a look and see just where they used to live. First thing you'll notice here, we got a stone sidewalk. That is authentic handmade stone sidewalk right there. That is some craftsmanship built to last. So we're just going to go ahead and walk across this here sidewalk on over to the house. Now you see, my great-grandpappy got married Christmas Day. It was in 1872, and they had to wait, of course, till it got warm. So for that first few months, they was living in the barn at my great-grandpappy's house. And so then once it got warm, they came on down here and, well, they set up shop. So first thing that we'll see here is a hole. It's just a hole now. It's just a stone hole, but a lot of wild things happen in that there hole. Let me tell you that. You can see that a lot of the walls have been falling down, and well, ain't much to look at now on account of time just doing this thing. But that'd have been the cellar of the house, and right here, well, that'd have been where their fireplace was and the chimney. So the kitchen was located just right over that cellar, and then that wasn't the whole house, of course. It went up farther forward, and the living room was up there and all them plants. And so down here in that cellar, they used to keep their potatoes and sugar and flour and all that. And you know, speaking of taters, funny little story. My grandpappy was born, well, down there in that very cellar. I do believe it's somewhere right about in that corner. You see, my great-grandma, she was down there doing her chores one night and was picking up this bag of potatoes. She just kind of squatted on down, picked up the taters, and whoop, there went my grandpappy. Just popped right on out on that floor of that cellar. It wouldn't surprise me. They put him to work. Back then, they started you working young, I tell you. Ooh-wee. But anyway, yeah, that's the house where they used to live. Somewhere over there is the old spring house where they kept their food cold, but I'm not going to go over there. That's a walk. But over here, we're just going to walk through these plants real quick. This, right about here would have been the front door where this tree's growing. There would have been a porch here, and we'd have walked right up on into that porch and into the house. Right over here, you see one of them there foundation stones. Well, that is what the house rested on. You see, it was built above with the cellar, and then onto this stone here. They didn't build it on the ground. It's real hilly around here. And if they had built it just flat on the ground, like, well, everything would have had a little crooked lean to it, and you'd have sat down to dinner and it'd been like, hey, Ma, pass me the chicken, woo, and the bowl would have just done slid right off the table. But anyway, we got all kinds of stuff that they found here. We got this little bitty baby saw. That's just a little dinker, maybe for cutting down just like little things. I can't really see this being much good for too much. Got all kinds of nails, and this here's what's left of one of them their fancy teacups. I mean, they have some nice fancy